It's a manky day, so let's start to Nesh, mate. You know what I mean?
No, I do not. But I do know the travel guys are in Manchester, England next.
Shut your gob, you nit.
All right, just move it along.
All right,
please.
okay.
Flight Center Travel Guys is brought to you by Flight Center. Booking your next big trip is just a phone call away at 1-877-WORLD-05. That's 1-877-WORLD-05. Flight Center, unbeatable.
Hi, I'm Jim Gordon.
And I'm Darren Parkman.
And we are the Travel Guys.
Where are we this time, my friend?
Where are
we are in the happening, groovy town of Manchester, England, baby.
That's right. Coming up, we'll check out Old Trafford, the home of soccer giants Manchester United.
Then we'll dig deep into the city's rich history and actually learn something for a change.
Be nice.
Yes.
And we may throw back a pint at the local pub.
At least one.
Yes.
If not many more.
Possibly.
All that and more coming up.
Well, it's a rainy day here in downtown Manchester. Parkman and I are walking through Piccadilly Gardens. Now, this is kind of the center of the city. From here, you can get to great shopping, the arts. It's all in this neighborhood.
And you know, I picked up some very cool Mancunian slang to fit just such a day.
Oh, okay. Let's
Some of the
hear it.
local slang, you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, feeling kind of nesh because the weather's kind of manky. Do you know what I mean, Jim?
What did you just say?
Well, nesh means we're cold. Manky
Yeah.
means the weather sucks.
Uh-huh.
You figured that out? You know what I mean?
Yeah. You got anything else?
Well, I do have one other thing. You're a great knit and shut your gob, Jim.
I think I know what that
You
means.
should, yeah.
Well, behind us, a statue of the long-reigning queen, Queen Victoria. Now, she didn't come to Manchester very often because Manchester during the Civil Wars was a parliamentarian society, and of course she was a royalist.
She's got a very interesting look going on there. I want to say Rubenesque, but regal,
Oh, okay.
and kind of like a young, more attractive Churchill. I think that's the look she's showing for.
I'm sure she'd appreciate hearing that.
You think so?
Probably not.
I gotta say, we've had a chance to check out most of the major cities in Europe, and the architecture here in Manchester is as impressive as anything we've seen.
That's right, pal. Behind us is City Hall, built in 1877. And what you find here is a great mixture in the city of old and new architecture.
Well, we're now inside Town Hall with our only friend in Manchester, who also happens to be our trusty tour guide, Kate Dibble.
Kate, tell Darren and I about the spectacular history of this beautiful town hall.
Well, quite simply, it showcases Manchester's power and richness during the 19th century.
Kate, we see these bees everywhere in the motif. What's the symbolic meaning of the bee?
Well, they're a symbol that Manchester people are very industrious and hard-working. We produce a lot of things and we travel all around the world working.
Back home in Canada, we're kind of known as worker bees, too. We're that dedicated.
Yes, of course we are.
Manchester, England, England, across the Atlantic Sea.
What the are you doing?
I'm just hearing the song in my head. It's really grooving me out here. It's just groovy, baby. Another important part of Manchester's history, and I want to underline the word important,
Yes, very.
is its plethora of good old-fashioned English pubs, and we're in one now, one of the older pubs in town. It's called Britain's Protection.
That's right, pal. Now, this has been around a little while, you could say. It opened around 1811. Can you believe it?
Wow.
Yeah.
By the way, it's called Britain's Protection. What exactly do we need protecting from?
Well, you need protection from that, I think.
That's very true.
Yeah.
That is good. What are we drinking, by the way?
I've never heard of this beer. It's called Squire's Gold. It's an ale.
Golden nectar it
Yeah,
is.
cheers.
Cheers to that. You know, there really is a pub culture in England. People use pubs as a meeting place for family and friends, and not just a place to drink ridiculous quantities of beer, I find.
That's really good, except that we don't have friends or family here.
Good point.
Yeah.
So perhaps we should just stick with the ridiculous quantities of beer then?
That's fine, yeah.
I'm for that.
Okay.
All right.
You know, another great thing about Manchester, if you're out for a pint, is they've got many beer gardens.
Beer gardens, you say? Mm-hmm. What does one plant in a beer garden?
Usually oneself in a chair for 4 to 5 hours.
Well, I've got more time than that.
Okay, sure. So that's even better.
How's 8 or 9 sound?
You're quite a gardener, right there.
Gotta say, I didn't realize gardening could be so much fun in the beer garden.
I'm not picking up on the exercise part everyone talks about while gardening.
It's still a great hobby, though.
Oh,
yes.
I could get used to this, yeah. You know, Parkman, I've been doing a little research and I got some facts here. Now, Manchester is home to over 2.2 million people and it's nicknamed Capital of the North.
You know, buddy, I really do love your research, but I got a few things on my plate today, but thank you very much for that. I really appreciated that.
Manchester was the world's first industrialized city and played a big part in the Industrial Revolution.
I'm sorry, did you just say something? I'm sort of kind of wrapped up in my own little self-indulgent world right now.
Manchester is also headquarters for Granada TV, home to the world's oldest and most beloved TV soap opera, Coronation Street.
You know, I really love the pointless facts. I'm a pointless fact nut, but could you maybe put that in an email? I'm just really busy today. You know, Manchester has always been a working-class town, and a couple dozen years ago, it certainly wasn't known for its posh nightlife.
That's right, buddy. Come to Manchester now, you'll find a lot of new, hip, trendy restaurants and bars. You could be in New York, like this one place we're in now.
This place is very posh, and you know, you and I are the benefactors.
That's very true. Cheers.
You like how I use the word benefactors there?
I like that, thank you.
That's a new word for me. Thank you. Well, Manchester has some world-class restaurants. We're at one now. It's Grill on the Alley, known for its fantastic steaks. And you're not taking up the restaurant on its fantastic steaks, I see.
Well, no, because the Grill on the Alley is also known for fantastic seafood. I'm having a great piece of salmon.
Unbelievable food. This is not a paid endorsement. You know, Manchester also has some smoking hot nightlife for the young people. And you know, a lot of people do say that we're a little old to be hanging out in these hip young clubs. But I really believe, for one, that we fit in with the kids, we're down with the kids and their music. Now, if we only had the courage and motivation to actually go into one of these clubs, I think we'd really stand out as hip, cool, happening kind of guys. Well, behind us, another impressive piece of Manchester architecture.
That's right, pal. It's the John Rylands Library. We're going to go check it out. Well, now Parkman and I are about to enter the famous reading room here at the John Rylands Library.
Is that why you're whispering?
Yeah.
I thought so. Let's go.
Here at the library, you can find over 1 million manuscripts and 750,000 books.
And up above those books are statues of some of the greatest writers in history. I recognize that gentleman behind us there. You may know him as Bill Shakespeare.
I think they know him as William.
Or Bill for short, yeah.
Manchester, England, across the Atlantic Sea.
What are you doing? It's just, I'm hearing that song again, that groove and happening kind of English song, baby. You're not hearing that? No?
Parkman and I are here at the Imperial War Museum North, just a little outside downtown Manchester. It's an interesting museum as it covers 5 areas of conflict from First World War up to the present day.
And in front of us is a very historic piece of artillery. It's the actual field gun that fired the very first Allied shot back in August of 1914 that kicked off World War I. That is one big tank. I don't think I've ever been this close to an actual tank before.
It's extremely intimidating.
Yes, it is. Now that is an amazing piece of World War II history. It's a piece of the actual plane flown by high-ranking Nazi Rudolf Hess during his ill-fated trip to Scotland during the war in an attempt to broker a peace deal with the Allies.
That's right, buddy. Now, he spent time in prison, was tried in Nuremberg after the war, and was the last known surviving Nazi dying in Spandau prison at a very old age in 1987.
More travel guys from Manchester, England, coming up. The big trend in Europe these days is to put a big honkin' wheel in every city, and Manchester is no different.
That's right, pal, and Lord knows we have had our fair share of rides on these wheels.
Gotta say, from up here at the top of the wheel, Manchester is a much prettier city than I would have expected. Some real nice old classic buildings and nice looking city.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, we've been on enough of these rides, as we've talked about. This is actually one of the longer ones. They really do give you a good value for your money.
They do indeed. Now, are you on some kind of medication? I notice you're not panicking like you normally would at this height.
I found a way to beat my fear of heights, and that's just basically stop breathing.
You know, if you really want to get off this thing, and I know you do, there is a yellow panic button up there that can stop the whole ride from moving.
Yeah, but I don't want to push it now because it'll stop right now. You're saying it'll stop when we get down there.
You want to push that button, don't you?
Well, I want to wait till we're down.
You're dying to push that button.
I'm going to push that button. Yeah.
Okay, push the button.
Well, now it's time for a little thing we like to call Jim and Darren Meet the People.
Or, as it's also known, approaching total strangers that would normally ignore us. Let's go.
I'm here with Stuart. Tell our viewers back in Canada, what's the best thing about Manchester?
At the moment, I think the best thing about Manchester is such a vibrant city. We've got the great wheel that's here. There's great food, the great people. Everyone just seems to have a great time now.
What's your name?
My name's Patricia Kelly from Ireland.
Patricia, what are we drinking this afternoon?
Anything that's set in front of me.
Are you buying?
If you're asking, yeah.
Well, I'm a little light in the pounds department. I don't have a lot of cash on me. If you wouldn't mind spotting me this afternoon, I'd really appreciate it.
Okay.
And you've got some pretty darn good football here too, don't you?
Oh, well, we have a certain team called Manchester United. They kind of do very well.
Would you mind if I just hung around and whiled away the hours with you this afternoon? Maybe have a few drinks?
Are you buying?
Well, I think we established you were going to buy earlier. That's a deal, right?
I've changed my mind.
What is the best thing about Manchester you found?
So far, of course, the Old Trafford Stadium.
Look at this.
Yes.
Manchester bag. What'd you buy?
Just some stuff like a poster and a flag.
We're from Canada. What's the best thing about Manchester?
The lager, £1.67. Awesome.
Yeah, they're drinking during the day. That's awesome. I like these people.
What's the best thing about Manchester? Start with you.
The shopping. Yeah, it's very good shopping. Not for me, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, doesn't look like a lot of stuff for you there. Same for you. What do you enjoy about Manchester?
Shopping and people as well.
Do you know any of the Mancunian slang? Can you teach me a slang word from Manchester?
Not from Manchester.
No?
Arcade.
What would it mean if you were to say to me, shut your gob? What does that mean?
Be quiet.
Are you asking me to be quiet?
Yeah.
All right, I will. Thanks.
I'm here with young Danny Casey. Tell us, what is the best thing about Manchester?
The females.
The females. I'm going to step out of the way. And what is this young girl's name?
Amy.
Come on over here, Amy. Okay. Danny says the best thing about Manchester are the beautiful women. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Can you teach me any Manchester slang? What's a good slang word that's native to Manchester? Anybody know any slang? You want to hear my Manchester accent? You tell me if I sound like I'm from Manchester, okay? It's kind of manky out. You know what I mean?
Good effort.
Good effort? Yeah, not bad. Want to hear it again? It's kind of manky out. You know what I mean? I'm not even close. Okay, thank you.
So, buddy, we've been here a couple days. Thoughts on Manchester?
You know what? It is a very happening kind of town. Much busier than I thought.
Yeah.
Centrally located. You're only a couple hours from London here. Only about a 30-minute, 40-minute drive to Liverpool, the birthplace of the Beatles. And yeah, I'm really liking it. What about you?
I love the mix of new and old. I mean, this city's always been a very cool city musically. Oasis, Stone Roses, stuff like that. But there's just a great mix. This is becoming a world-class city, and it's I really like the vibe here, too.
And there are some right dolly birds here, aren't there? That means good-looking gals. That's how the Mancunians say.
Yeah, I figured that, yeah.
There are a lot of great places to stay in the new and improved Manchester, and one of those is the Place Apartment Hotel.
This historical building, now a trendy hotel, is centrally located to everything you want to check out. Well, I can't believe I'm saying this, but my co-host Darren Parkman, oh my God, is behind the bar getting ready to offer me a beer.
Can I pull you a pint, Governor? Just kidding. I'm not even English.
Really, I couldn't tell.
As a matter of fact, I'm not even authorized to be back here, but...
That's why I'm saying do this quickly, please.
Okay, before the authorities come. Here we go. Ready? I'm excited.
Well done. Behind us, the legendary Old Trafford, home to soccer giants Manchester United.
We'll check that out and a whole lot more coming up next.
Football, or as we call it in Canada, soccer, is the most popular sport on the planet. The most successful franchise in all of sport is Manchester United. We're at their home right now, the legendary Old Trafford.
Gotta say, when we walked in here, I was absolutely shocked at how small the field actually looks when you're here in person. And it's hard to believe that this stadium seats 76,000 people. It's incredible.
Gotta tell you, though, it's a real thrill.
What, working with me?
Oh, yeah, that too.
Oh, I assume that's what you meant. Well, I got to say, it's kind of lonely in the seats here when the stadium's empty, isn't it? I'm deep in thought, though. It's very pensive.
Well, are you ready to go for a little tour of the Manchester United Museum?
Yes, I am.
Manchester United have reached the promised land.
Well, we've had a spiffing time here in jolly old Manchester, but it's time to say, see you later, mate.
Fair enough. You got to dump that accent.
It's more Australian, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah. But before we leave, as we always do, let's check out Jim and Darren's top 5 coolest things about Manchester. Number 5.
Getting a bird's eye view of the city high atop the Manchester Wheel. By the way, how's that fear thing going there?
I'm not getting a view of the city because I'm blinded by that fear.
Well, that's too bad.
Yeah. Number 4.
Drinking in the fantastic Manchester architecture at John Rylands Library.
Number 3.
It's got to be pulling a pint in one of Manchester's oldest pubs, the Britain's Protection. That'll be £8.50, Governor.
Oh my God, it's gone to his head.
That's a bargain.
Number 2.
Brushing up on our history at the Imperial War Museum North. And the #1 coolest thing about Manchester.
Visiting Old Trafford, home of soccer giants Manchester United. What a thrill.
When you say thrill, I'm assuming that you're referring to working with me.
Yes, of course.
I thought so. We'll see you next time on The Travel Guys.
Flight Center Travel Guys has been brought to you by Flight Center. Booking your next big trip is just a phone call away at 1-877-WORLD-05. That's 1-877-WORLD-05. Flight Center. Unbeatable.
Air transportation for the Flight Center Travel Guys provided by Zoom Airlines, Canada's low-fare leader to the UK, Paris, and Rome.
Well, now it's time for a little thing we like to call Jim and Darren Meet the People.
Or as it's also known, approaching total strangers. Voice crack there, sorry.
That's right, pal. This historical building, now a trendy hotel, is located...
We've had a chance to check out most of the major cities in Europe, and the architecture here in Manchester compares to anything we've seen.
That's right, pal.
Compares well to anything we compares. I mean, what does that mean?